Lady Bird, directed by Greta Gerwig, is based in 2002 Sacramento, California, and is centered around Catholic high school senior Lady Bird, Christine McPherson. The film depicts her adventure of growing up while she longs for adventure, sophistication, and opportunity, but finds that in the current unfortunate state of the economy in America, her father is laid off and her family is struggling with her mom working double shifts as a nurse. At her private high school, she has two best friends who keep her sane through her rebellious teen angst. And although her family struggles with money, Lady Bird is strangely determined to go to college in New York to explore her creative side. Her family would prefer if she stayed close to home, which she denies as she has bigger aspirations. Her strange and poor relationship with her mother is highlighted throughout the film, depicting the real-life conflict a teenage girl has with her mom. The film explores her dipping her toes into dating, first love, sexual interactions, and heartbreak. Her final year of high school demonstrates the trials and tribulations of her wanting to be independent while still exploring her identity and figuring out her relationship with her mother. This movie follows the main character's senior year in high school, including her first romance, her participation in the school play, and most importantly, her applying for college. The film shows it stands on its own as art, with the auteur's voice because Greta's unique vision depicting the reality of going through high school during the early 2000s. Her new directive style and voice in cinema makes Lady Bird intriguing and fresh. As she was raised in Sacramento, California, Gerwig illuminates authenticity in the film about coming of age in the same setting. The quirky and feminist film found its light in the editing process and truly delivered the story thanks to dramatic punctuation and sharp timelines for punchlines. Director Greta Gerwig has even stated that she wanted the film to look like a memory to editors. The editor got inspiration from early 2000 photocopies and Polaroids to give the film a slight nostalgic and vintage look. Part of the setting of the mise-en-scene spouts the propaganda of a post-9/11 America as the film is set in 2002, but with no real consequence to the McPhersons living in Sacramento. The film feels like a warm hug with a nod to the difficulties of what it's like to grow up as a girl. The narrative form in the film is linear. Lady Bird refuses anything from inexpensive college to even her own identity and is alienated but attracted to a realm of glamour that resides on the other side of the country. The script provides a deeper meaning, a justification for telling the tale by a thorough application of moral and factual contradictions that bring aspects and resonate in both. By avoiding and denying everything that is around her, Lady Bird learns to embrace where she came from and the love that she has been given. The cause and effect of the film reflects how certain evidence that happens to the main character causes her to respond to them emotionally, affecting her relationships throughout the movie. The perspective of time in the film and the way it's rushed progressively through the film is a common theme. As it stumbles from scene to scene, we feel as though we are truly living the reality of the early 2000s in Lady Bird. The mise-en-scene starts with Lady Bird and her mother in a thrift store, the director trying her best to make the scene look honest and genuine. The big windows in the scene gave them lots of flair, as described by director Gerwig, and the cinematographer and the director also made sure there was lots of headroom in order to include the fluorescent lights in the store to contribute to the early 2000s feel, along with showing the depth of the brightly colored clothes. And although that the mother and daughter were fighting throughout this scene initially, it ends with them getting along suddenly when they pick a dress they like for the school dance and have sort of a heart-to-heart, describing the essence that the fight and love equally is portrayed in the movie. And the acting was pure and original throughout the film. The actress who portrayed Lady Bird described the scene as it was in her blood and felt very natural. The costume in the scene depicts the style at the time and the personality of each character, with movement from the camera moving alongside them as they walk through the store. The film technique throughout the film was used and described by Sam Levy, the cinematographer, with a technique with ultra speeds that naturally diffuse and have no filtration necessary. They were not intended to soften and tease out the Alexa grain by having the colorist brighten up the image after the process was done. The picture was often underexposed by as much as 3 shutter cuts, and Sam Levy rated the camera at 1280 for day exteriors and 1600 for the majority of the interior work, and they also shot 2K ProRes. This technique is important to be continuous throughout the film when telling a story so it looks genuine. As Lady Bird was Greta Gerwig's first film, she expressed how she felt free because there were no expectations as to what she could create in her cinematic debut. She gave the lead actress Saoirse Ronan the freedom to find her character and be brave about her strategy. She truly focused on the little things that led you to the big events in the film. Gerwig was interested in Lady Bird's relationship with her mother because it was so complex. She truly wanted to highlight the arguments that her mom had to show their complicated relationship. The filmmaker's vision serves as art because she draws attention to real-life emotional hardship everyone goes through with their relationship with their parents. The director of the film wanted to share her vision of the scenes being plain but beautiful by letting things be as what they are. The densely packed detail which makes this such a luminous piece of work shows Greta Gerwig to be an uncommonly alert filmmaker.